Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to show you how to make fully customizable tokens just like this one that you can use for anything you want. Number two, at the end of this video, I'm going to be doing the channel's first giveaway, in which I will give away all the foil proxies you see on the screen here, as well as the foil proxy that I'm going to make in this tutorial. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you want to do to follow along with this tutorial is download this full art token template, which I will link in the description, along with the Bellerin 2016 font and the Magic Symbols font, which I will also link in the description. I designed this template myself, and it is completely free for everyone to use. Next, we want to go to photop.com, which is basically just a free online Photoshop that I use for everything. And we're going to go to File and open up our token template. The token comes preloaded with this piece of art. So if all you want is an elf druid token that taps for a green for your Freyalise commander deck or whatever, just download this as a PNG and you're all set. But for everything else, we'll start with a fresh example. For this tutorial, I'm going to make a treasure token. Ever since Dockside Extortionist, Smothering Tithe, and more recently, Ragavan have been printed, treasure tokens seem to be the most prominent tokens in the game now. The very first thing we want to do is get the art we're going to be using for this treasure token, and drag and drop it into the card images folder. And using the transform controls, we can adjust the size of the art so it fits the card frame nicely. We can delete the Ottermancer that we won't be using. Before we get started editing our text layers, we need to load our fonts into Photop. Select the text tool, open this drop-down menu, and hit Load Font. Select Bellerin 2016 Bold, select Magic Symbols, and hit Open. Again, the links for those fonts are in the description. Now that our fonts are loaded, we can open the text folder, select Name, and change that elf druid into Treasure. We can turn this other text layer off, we won't be needing it. Now we're going to look up the treasure token rules text on Scryfall just to make sure we have it exactly as it appears on a real treasure token. And we're going to copy all the rules text, excluding the tap symbol for now, and paste it over the power toughness text. Then, we can hold one of these transform controls and drag it to the side to stretch the text box so our text is visible. Then using the move tool, we can drag it to the center of the card. It will automatically try to stick to the very center of the image. When you see that thin red line, that means the text is centered about the image. Now for the tap symbol. We're going to select the text tool and type OT just before the comma. Select the T and open up the color picker box at the top here. Select black and hit OK. Now we're going to select the O and the T, open this drop-down menu, and select Magic Symbols, and there. We have a nice, neat, and clean tap symbol. For a full syntax guide on how to use the Mana Symbols font, check out Proxy resources in the channel's Discord, link in the description. But generally all you have to do is put an O before the number or Woobrook symbol you want to use. The last text we need to edit is the artist. When using another person's work in your projects, always be sure to credit the artist. The person who made this particular piece is Samuel Alexander, who, by the way, has an Etsy store, which I'll link in the description, where a myriad of other full art tokens are available at very reasonable prices. Massive thank you to Sam for letting me use his art for this tutorial. Now that we have text squared away, the next thing we're going to adjust is the frame. The very first thing we want to do is delete this raster mask attached to the title frame. And that just restores parts of the frame that I erased to make it seem like our Ottermancer's hair was on the top of the frame to give the art a kind of 3D effect. For example, if we wanted to recreate that effect but with a different art like this one here, all we'd have to do is create a new raster mask over this layer by clicking on the raster mask button at the bottom here. Then, say I want to make this sword on the right appear larger than life, I would just use the eraser tool on the raster mask and cut it out. But if I don't like the way it looks, I can just disable or delete the raster mask, and we're left with our original frame that was never edited. Now, I'd like to address this color and how we can customize it. I liked the green, blue, purple gradient on the elf druid token, but I feel like it kind of clashes with this already colorful art. So what I'm gonna do is open up the effects on the color frame folder, and I'm going to double click on the gradient overlay. This brings up the controls for the color of the frame. From here we can adjust the orientation of colors. For example, instead of a diagonal orientation, we can adjust the angle to make them side to side or top to bottom. I like the diagonal orientation, so I'm going to leave it at -45 degrees. As for changing the colors themselves, we're going to click on this gradient color bar here, and you can see the colors we have selected for our current frame. I think a solid metallic gold would be more appropriate for this treasure token, and since the art we're using is already very colorful, we don't need to lend much in terms of adding color. But that's just my choices. You can make this frame rainbow or whatever you want. For that metallic gold, I'm just going to Google gold hex code and go to images, and that's going to do is give me a wide array of shades of gold to choose from. I like this metallic gold color right here. So what I'm going to do is select this square at the 0% position that's currently set to green, and then I'm going to click on this box here to open the color picker, and I'm going to enter that hex code for that shade of gold that I found, which is AE8625. Then we'll copy that code, click OK, select the box at the 100% position, currently set to purple, and open the color picker again. Paste that same hex code that we used in the first box. And finally, select the middle box, open the color picker, and enter the hex code for that light gold we found, which is F7EF8A. Okay, now our frame looks more like a solid piece of polished gold that's reflecting a bit of light. We could stop here, call it good, and hit the print button. But I want to make our frame look a little bit sharper and add a bit of a 3D effect. To do that, we're going to press OK to close the gradient editor, and we're going to enable the stroke checkbox that's going to add a slight outline to the frame. Open the color picker and set it to black, and make sure the size is set to 3 pixels. Next, turn on bevel and emboss to give it that 3D effect. Set depth to 500, and then turn on contour to sharpen up the edges a bit. And to make the text in the title frame show up a little bit better against the art background, we can take our brush tool with the raster mask of the transparent frame selected, and we can just brush inside the frame to make the text a little bit easier to see while still keeping the art visible. And as for one last finishing touch, I'm going to select the line tool, set the fill and stroke to white, and set thickness to 7 pixels. Then holding Shift to keep the line straight, I'm going to drag a line across the top of the rules text to extend the frame and make that text box. Okay, we're all done. Now, we can export this as a PNG and then drag the file to a blank Google Doc. Right-click the image and go to Image Options. Size and rotation, set the width to 2.5 inches. And we are all done and ready for printing. If you're just printing a paper proxy, print the file, cut it out, put it in a sleeve over basic land, you're all done. You can also head down to a FedEx office, have the file printed onto sticker paper, and then you can cut that out and stick it onto a basic land for something that looks and feels more like a real card. If you want to make your card image into a foil token like this one, click on the video appearing on your screen now for my tutorial on how to make foil proxies. The second part of that tutorial is just designing the card in Photopea like we just did with our treasure token, so watch the first part of the video and then use the timestamps to skip to the third part. This treasure token has just been one example of what you can make using this template. Be sure to join the channel's Discord and show off all the cool tokens and proxies you've designed. The possibilities are endless. Along with the template and the fonts used in this video, you'll also find a myriad of other creative resources for your card designing needs. If you have questions about the tutorial, you can just ask them in the general chat. I usually answer questions in the same day, sometimes within the hour. You can also just pop in, say hello, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in future videos. And as for the giveaway, I want to thank all of you for your support in helping me grow the channel. It means a lot to me, and I love seeing people post their creations in the Discord. So, on December 5th, 2021, roughly 1 week from the time I'll have posted this video, I will randomly select one lucky subscriber, and they'll receive all of these foil proxies you see on screen now. All you have to do is be subscribed to Mox Cardboard TV and leave a comment on this video and let me know what's your favorite combo or card synergy. If you say Thoracle Consult, you will be automatically disqualified. Special thanks again to Samuel Alexander for letting me use his art for this tutorial, and thank you all very much for watching the video and subscribing. I actually do get a kick out of seeing people upload their own projects in the Discord, so feel free to post what you guys come up with. Until next time, Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.